head deep into the summer season and I'll ask you what the most hyped non-sequel of the season is. Well, whatever your answer is, I'd say that a sizable portion of the fanbase thinks that God of High School is all the rage these days, which leads me to the topic of today's list. With the God of High School giving us treat after treat in its fights, why not resume the tradition of listing 10 hand-to-hand fights in anime? We're on our 4th volume for this now, but the train looks to be nowhere near stopping. I've been talking for too long now, so let's kick the whole thing off and let the anime characters' fists do the talking and hyping. Now this is what you call a brawl. Coming from an OVA of one of the more niche titles of 2013 is this fight. The two combatants, Rokkaku and Shidou, roll, tumble and brawl their way into a spectacle. I love it when the fight becomes as dynamic as this and you can feel and follow along with the action as opposed to the typical messy cuts that characterize some fights of this speed and intensity. Is this one of the most intense animation that you've ever seen in an anime fight? I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest if you said yes. The way the characters move and how much power each blow has behind it, I wasn't sure how to describe that when I first saw it. It sure also helps that the sound directing, as many have noticed in this sequence, is just on point. For such a high-tension sci-fi thriller like Ghost in the Shell, it's really fitting to have a fight like this cap off its movie Ghost in the Shell Arise. What starts off as a shootout quickly turns into an exchange where the two fighters trade blow for blow as they tussle all across the corridor. Despite lacking an advantage in the size department, Motoko still takes the fight to Raizo and gets the better of him. Despite losing an arm in the process and literally getting her back against the wall, Motoko's wits allow her to get away with the decisive victory, and it's a great way to end a movie that already has its fair share of notable moments and sequences. While I personally enjoyed UQ Holder enough, I won't say that it's the best adaptation out there. It's not even close. Nonetheless, it still has its cool moments every now and then, and one of those moments is the fight between Tota and Kaito. The two face off and go at each other with a blazingly fast flurry of punches. At the end of the exchange, it seems to be Kaito's victory, with him getting a decisive one by piercing through Tota with one hit. Bad news for him is that this is UQ Holder, where people have whack powers and overpowered characters are a dime a dozen. For how cool it looked in the anime, this particular fight isn't even as good as the one in the manga, so you better go ahead and read that. Speaking of overpowered characters, we have a battle of insane proportions as the immortal Ban takes on the captain of the 7 Deadly Sins. When you have a cast full of insanely strong people with powers like the 7 Deadly Sins, pitting two top-tier fighters against each other becomes a spectacle, as well as opening a can of worms in the ever-present shonen power debates. This battle does show some of the great examples of animation and fights that helped the 7 Deadly Sins become one of the hot new shonen crazes for a while. It's got fast-paced action, and the anime team seem to have quite a bit of fun with the blood in this fight. It's amazing how far we've come, right? Just ask anyone who's seen the hilarious art and animation from the latest season and you'll know exactly what I mean. Yeah, this is probably one of the best 7 Deadly Sins fights there is, period. Seeing this and then the Escanor fight back to back makes me legit sad. For a series that's not too focused on battles, the Monogatari series has some of the most memorable fights in anime. Perhaps it's because of the nature of the series that the fight sticks out. I already talked about the fight against Kishot in a previous video, so make sure to check that one out, but for this list, we'll go over Garen and Koyomi's battle. One look at Garen and I pretty much deduced her to be a skilled hand-to-hand combatant. Her brother, well, not so much. At least Koyomi is good at taking punishment because, as Garen herself said, any normal person would have died taking those kicks and blows. Sakuga Fest in every moment as the fight spills out to various places and Garen dazzles us with her entire offensive arsenal. This being perhaps one of the most intricately animated fights in the series, without relying too much on splatter and special effects, puts it squarely on this list.
Thank you, 兄ちゃん。おかげで目が覚めた。
Now, I really love hand-to-hand combat in anime, and I'm sure that you do too. Now, wouldn't it be a shame if you couldn't get the chance to watch the shows featuring these awesome and heart-pumping moments because of some pesky region locks? So I gladly present to you your best buddy on the internet and the sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN, in my experience, is the best VPN software that you can get. For its cheap subscription price, you get some top-notch quality service and the fastest speeds available for any VPN software in town. Once you boot the program up, just pick your server and connect. It really is as simple as that. Now, movies like Your Name and Spirited Away are just a click away. So say goodbye to those guilt-ridden days where you had to overcome regional locks through dubious means, let's just put it like that. Here, let me help you out by giving you 3 months free, and all you have to do is click the link below, or just go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube. Say goodbye to all those problems with some quick clicks and start enjoying the internet to the fullest. If there's one word that I can use to describe Baki fights, it's wild. Wild is the cast of fighters we have in the show. Wild is Yujiro's hair. Wild is the sequence which I lay witness to when I first saw this fight. Yujiro, probably the series' most powerful character, finds himself in a David versus Goliath battle against Gakugayo, pitting his sheer power against the sleek moments of the disheveled man. Both combatants channel their powers in a fight reminiscent of Hunter x Hunter fights, and for a second there, Yujiro does seem to be on the ropes. How does Yujiro finish the fight? Good old ear clap. But give Gakugayo some respect. He may have been in an unwinnable fight, but with his showing, I'm pretty sure that he would have given anyone a run for his money. It just happens that, as luck would have it, he had to go through the strongest person in the Baki universe. Hand-to-hand combat's probably not the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Kakashi. That makes his confrontation with Kakuzu all the more epic. I never thought that he had it in him, but Kakashi made a believer out of me that day. Team 10 also had a good showing in this fight, but I think that Kakashi's physical battle against one half of the zombie combo did steal the show. It's certainly not the Battle of the Titans featuring people at the absolute top of the Naruto tier list, but we still get to see what high-level taijutsu can look like. Almost evenly matched with his opponent, a Naruto run-in would give Kakashi the edge he needs to come out victorious. One of the most badass mental characters in the whole show? No doubt. Real Drive's not exactly the most popular anime out there, but boy does it have some cool fight sequences. It's just as you'd expect from Production IG and its quality animation team. We have Souta taking on the android in preparation for his upcoming battles against Holon. We get some funky music to beat to while the fighters try to outmaneuver each other through their combat moves and dodges. It's such an intricate piece of art, and while I'm not sure it's worth going through the whole of Real Drive just for the fights, it is still something to take note of. You can check the video of the fights out on YouTube and you'll be amazed at how well the thing was done, considering it's a 2000 show. I know I was. Now, Chinese anime isn't too popular, and understandably so, but I recently watched the show called Fog Hill of 5 Elements, and I just can't resist including this fight in this list. 2 episodes in, and I've already got a gift in the form of this amazing fight sequence. Never had I thought that seeing a guy go up against a bird would be so much of a work of art, but here we are. The art and animation are simply top-notch, and everything ties in well with the traditionalist art style of the show, with all the thick lines and all. The two go at it again much later in the episode, exchanging empowered punches and parries while flying around the battlefield. It's such a joy to follow, and you can get in the zone so easily due to how beautifully the whole thing's been composed and directed. So yeah, it looks like the non-Japanese people have been upping their game recently. Just one of the many nice treasures you can see from the not so commonly visited sectors in the internet. Less less than a few weeks into its run, and the God of High School has already captivated hordes of anime fans with the fights. I mean, being a series about a tournament arc, you'd expect some quality battles coming in, but I didn't think everyone was prepared for something of this caliber. Neither fighter gives an inch in this battle to determine who moves on and wins it all in the sole leg of the preliminaries. Jin finds himself overwhelmed by his opponent's stances, but instead uses it to mount his comeback. The fight then comes down to the exchange of ultimate techniques where we see Jin win out. An epic way to finish an already epic tournament. There's no question why God of High School is probably one of the, if not the hottest non-sequel anime in this season. With a few more episodes to go, I'm sure that we'll see even more classic bouts down the line. So how's that for Volume 4 of a hand-to-hand fights list? The world of anime's physical bouts is just so exciting, am I right? I know I'm not wrong. Which of them among them is your favourite? Make sure to tell me so that I have an even better idea of the stuff that you like. That's going to do it for this one. I hope to see you on the next list, and I can't wait to see more feedback from you. Don't forget to like and share if you enjoyed the video, and hit that notification button so you never miss any uploads. Don't forget to check out our sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. Bypass all those pesky region locks and even browse sites not available in your region with the ever-trusty ExpressVPN now. I'll see you next time on ViniiTube.